Hello everyone, Derek Stam Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. Today we've got the Elite 104 AJ Styles, the updated Formula AJ Styles. I'm excited to get this up and out of the plastic prison. Of course, looking at the back of the box, you can see some of the other figures in the wave. I just realized I did not get this Drew McIntyre, so not necessarily mad about it, not like really caring, I guess you could say. I got both of the Braun Breakers. I kind of want to get the Rick Steiner and the Dakota Kai, but we'll see about that. Maybe here soon. But yeah, this AJ Styles in the red gear. He's got the two sweet knee hand. Oh yeah, hands. I was about to say there's supposed to be another one, isn't there? But yeah, you know what? Before I keep rambling on too much, let's bust out the trusty knife. Let's get this AJ Styles up out of his plastic prison now, shall we? Now that we've got the AJ Styles out of his plastic prison, let's go over some of his accessories. That's the second time I've gotten tongue twisted trying to say that in the past two videos. But first things first, we'll go over the hands, as he's got his phenomenal P1 gloved hands. He's got Mike Holding / weapon hands, and he's got two Sweetney hands, of course, two of each. I just have the other hands on the figure, as that's how he came in the package. So yeah, that's why you don't see all the hands. And we've also got a rubber t-shirt. One of the better ones, though, I'll say that, is I was actually able to plug it back in fairly easy. It's not like the Keith Lee jacket where it takes a minute to plug it back in, at least for mine. But yeah, the gloves are pretty nicely detailed. Kind of wish we would see like more open hand gloves for like Rey Mysterio and other people who use gloves. Because, like, MVP not having open hands for his gloved hands is kind of ridiculous in my opinion. But you know what? We won't talk about that too much. We won't. If anything, why don't we talk about the figure itself and look at the updated formula? Of course, there's no chest hair. Some people are bothered by that, but not me. I like seeing the updated formula. Only gripe I might personally have with mine, I don't know if this has happened to other people, but it kind of feels like mine's a little bow-legged. I don't know. You can let me know if you think it's bow-legged too. I feel like it's bow-legged, but that could be because it's on those weird acorn joints and not the ball joints. So I've noticed that sometimes with the acorn joints, certain figures will do that, sadly. But of course, getting into the head sculpt, head scan, whatever you want to call it, of Mr. Alan Jones himself. Pretty much the standard AJ Styles head we've been getting for a while. I want to say this is the one that came with the Ultimate Edition, because now that I'm looking at the face scan itself, this is more of a straight-faced AJ and not like a smirking head sculpt AJ. I don't know, it's still a pretty nice head scan. It gets the job done. The hair's looking nice and clean. Of course, we've got more of a thicker elbow pad. Red P1 on the elbow pad, always a nice little detail. Sadly, it's one of the thicker ones and not a smaller one like we got on the Ultimate Edition, but not the biggest ordeal, Of course, he's got his gloved hands, and his gloves have the removable gauntlet up here, so if you wanted to put bare hands on this dude, feel free, He's got the P1 armband on this side. I don't know why it looks a lot bigger than it usually does. Maybe that's just a me thing, but it's not really the worst thing in the world. And then, of course, we've got the AJ Styles attire itself, and man, this AJ Styles attire is really damn cool. You've got like the giant like Kaiju Club logo on the side of his leg, with the P1 logo right there. Of course, AJ, I want to say that's Styles in Japanese. Got all the different little reds and blacks in there, a little bit of white in between. Got the Japanese logo on his knee pad. Don't know what it stands for though, don't ask me. P1 on the kick pads. And yeah, pretty standard AJ Styles. A really cool red attire though. But yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about this AJ. I'm really happy that I went out of my way. I picked this up. Got it for $25, just like I did both of the Braun Breakers, just like I did the Gunther. And to be honest with you, I'm definitely not mad. Definitely not mad at all. Breaking down some of the articulation, let's do that before I forget or get too sidetracked. You can look up about that high, of course his long hair does kind of hinder it a little bit. You can look down about that far, which is really good. Of course, he's got a pretty alright ab crunch, a little loose on mine. Waist articulation, as always, pretty excellent. Of course, he's got articulation in his shoulders, upper arm rotation. Arm can rotate 360. I never really showcased that. Double bend in the elbows. You can see it a little bit better on that arm right there. You know what I'm saying? Got a little bit of wrist swivel. And, oh, Jesus. And if I can get it, wrist articulation. There we go. Of course, did the waist and stuff like that already. He's got upper thigh cut. He can kick up about that high, which is pretty good, honestly. I'd say that's really excellent. Double bend in the knee. Of course, he's got kick pad rotation. Mine's a little bit stiffer than I would have honestly expected. And of course, he's got ankle rotation and ankle rock, but the ankle rotation, ankle bend, and ankle rock. But I'm not going to force the ankle bend as usual because sometimes that makes the boots really loose with how stiff they make them sometimes. But that's not the biggest ordeal. Why don't we get this man posed up for his final pose and we can wrap things up, shall we? Alrighty, I got him posed up with the P1 hands. Personally, the P1 hands can't really pose around like for the pose as well as like the Ultimate Edition per se. Not the biggest ordeal though. All in all, a really solid figure. Really solid. The rubber t-shirt really is not the worst accessory. Like, it's a little bit softer than usual. Same thing with the elbow pad. I noticed the elbow pad feels way softer than they used to. So I don't know if that's just something new that they're starting to implement with some of the rubber, like they made it a little bit softer. But yeah, AJ can do his P1 pose if you can get it to pose right. I kind of couldn't really get it to pose as well. But yeah, you get to see that, Of course, he's got his two sweet me hands. If you have other figures that kind of do similar hands, you could probably get all of the clubs, maybe even Finn Balor up in here, do the two sweet together. It's kind of nice to have the inclusion of some sort of two sweet hands. Only problem I run into is, of course, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson don't have updated elites where they have the hands where they can do that just yet. It would be cool, but I don't know if I can really implement interchangeable hands with those two. I'll have to look into it. But yeah, on that note, what can I really say about this AJ Styles? I don't have too much, to nitpick about. I think it's really solid. I'm gonna give it a good solid, let's say 8.5 out of 10. Let's give him a good solid 4 out of 5 stars. You know what, 4.25. That, I feel like that makes more sense to me. But yeah, this AJ, I definitely would say is probably a must-have in your collection Whether you use him for club purposes, whether you use him just to have a red attire AJ in your collection, because I don't think we have many red attire elite AJs, if at all. So this is a nice touch to actually get into. But with that being said, yeah, I definitely highly recommend this if you can find it for the right price. Just keep your eye out. You never know. You might be able to find that right price. Jesus, I can't speak tonight, and I technically have 2 more reviews to go if I do decide to do them tonight. I don't know yet. But, feel free to leave your comments down in the comment section below. Should we use this AJ Styles in the holiday tour? Or should we use this AJ Styles for, absolute carnage? Because I would love to introduce the red AJ Styles attire. I don't know if I want to do it, as soon as possible, or if I kind of want to wait, give him, a little bit of a attire change when the pay-per-view hits. Kind of make it feel a bit more special. I don't know. I'll probably end up doing that. Don't know why I really bothered to ask, but I wouldn't mind your feedback. Speaking of your feedback, though, I think we're going to wrap this up. So if you liked the video, feel free to like the video. If you didn't, that's alright. I don't really give that much of a shish. But if you did like the content, feel free to check out some of my other action figure reviews. I do have a playlist along with a playlist for my PickFed content as well. So if you would like to go check out my PickFed, feel free. We're currently working on the Holiday Tour Night 2, a 3-day live event that has 3 matches that are recorded to kind of just continue the heat of certain rivalries and or maybe start some new ones. If you've watched Night 1, maybe you'll kind of get where I'm hinting at with that. But, I don't know. I think other than that, feel free to subscribe to the Instagram. And if I didn't mention it, feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. They're both free. So, on that note, why don't we wrap this up, bad boys? Have a great day and deuces.